guys, how's it going? So today we're going to be doing a quote unquote podcast with my good buddy Caden. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. So basically, we just got a couple topics we want to talk about, and it's pretty simple. It'll be a chill, fun, maybe fun. It'll be a relaxed time, and grab a drink or something, and sit back and let's get this thing going.
Yeah, grab a drink, grab your popcorn, grab your dildo, and let's get started.
I got some topics. Do you?
Oh yeah. Here I'll do kind of an interesting one, but it's not all that cool. If you could replace anyone in history with yourself, who would you replace?
Anyone throughout all of history?
Yeah, I would recommend doing somebody that's already dead because you already know their whole timeline.
I mean, that's probably what I would have done.
Well, I don't know. You might have said like Donald Trump. I mean, he's not dead yet. You don't know what he's gonna do. So
I mean, yeah, that's true, but I was never gonna, go to the present.
it's
Anyone in history.
yeah.
Can we change the events of the past, or is it just that person happens to be us now?
See, you can't change it too much. You can do a little bit of changing. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nothing.
See,
So like, you can't change the way that person died.
no.
No.
Well, no. You could probably do that.
I mean, it's your question. It's your rules.
Yeah, you can change the way you die. Just don't drastically change history so that we wouldn't be here today.
So like, don't change how Abraham Lincoln died in the Ford Theater.
Yeah. I wouldn't change that.
Anyone in history? I mean, that's kind of tough. There's a lot of stuff to choose. There's a lot of people to choose from.
Yeah.
But I want to go like to major events though. We can't change history. It's just that person happens to be us, right?
Yeah.
I think at that point then, I would. It's nothing interesting, but maybe I would replace Henry Ford with myself.
Henry Ford. That's pretty interesting.
Henry
Wow.
Ford.
Yeah.
Can't change history too much. Yeah, it would be Henry Ford. Just be, the guy that helped make Ford cars, or just helped make the car a more available and affordable thing for the consumer.
Yeah. There you go. That's pretty deep. I was just gonna say Hitler because not that I necessarily want to be Hitler, but but because the way
there are two different types of answers going on here.
but because the way it changed the world in a positive way. Like after World War II, the world advanced in such a major way.
What do you mean, like the Allies?
Like the Allies defeated the Axis, right? And now the world changed for the positive. Like the Great Depression ended, and then it was like a worldwide depression, from what I understand. And not only that, but like technology advanced and everything. World War II was tragic, yeah, but like it advanced the world technologically, socially, economically.
Yeah, because remember,
So
I mean, we're not changing history here. We're just replacing someone with ourselves.
exactly right. So I would be Hitler, and then I would almost win, and then America would come and punch me in the face, and then I would shoot myself, and then pretty soon my country would give up, and then I would have been defeated and disgraced my country.
Yeah, I was not expecting Hitler out of that.
I was really expecting Hitler because when you said the way that somebody died or changing history,
Yeah, I was
I was
thinking
like,
of
oh,
like Abraham Lincoln right then and there.
oh, I thought you were thinking about Hitler. I was like, oh no, he's gonna steal my topic.
No, not even
Wow.
close. It's nothing too interesting, but I'd like to know, what is your favorite current generation console?
That's pretty easy. Yeah, the Xbox One X.
So out of
Yeah.
like the Switch and the PS4 and Xbox, you choose Xbox?
Yes, I would choose the Xbox line of consoles because I'm just a big Xbox fan.
I mean, I am too, definitely, for sure. But
And
I don't know.
Microsoft.
I think I would have a hard time choosing between.
Wait.
What?
Oh no, you can finish.
I would have a hard time choosing between the Xbox and Nintendo, like the Switch.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of the Switch.
Yeah, I am. They have a lot of stuff coming out, but right now it's mainly just like a console that's just getting a port of other games that have already been out. I mean, yeah, sure, there's new
so-
ones coming out. I mean, no one else is gonna be able to play, Breath of the Wild. Well, no, that's on the Wii U. But
Yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey.
There you go. Yeah.
Um, because I would say that Nintendo has better exclusives. But like I'm a big fan of like Forza and stuff on the Xbox and
Yeah.
Halo and
Halo. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a great series.
So I mean, I like all of them, but if I had to choose any of them, I would probably choose the Switch. The
Yeah.
PS4 also has some really good exclusives like
It
Uncharted.
does. Like
Uncharted.
Detroit also. Uncharted, Detroit, Bloodborne. That's a good one. Yeah, they have lots of good
Yeah, no, The Last of
exclusives.
Us 2 can't for fucking Naughty Dog in itself. It's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
They all have a lot of good exclusives. So
yeah, they do. They all do.
yep.
Um,
I would choose the Xbox.
okay, but would you
Wait, actually,
choose what's up?
does it have does it have to be like a console that is it like the last console that that company made, or does it have to be now console?
It's now consoles, current generation.
Oh, because I would have said the Sega Genesis because that's the last console Sega made, which was great console. I love Sega. I mean, not the Sega Dreamcast. I mean,
You liked that?
I loved the Sega Dreamcast. What an amazing console that was.
How? Why?
It could do so much. It was just amazing console
So you like it for its technological advancements for its time?
for its time, and it also had a lot of great exclusives for that time, or at least games that not other consoles could have, because at that time it was the best graphical, one of the best graphicals. Only the only other competitor was the PlayStation line of consoles, and so the only consoles that
I
could
mean,
play
the
those games.
PlayStation I think was actually kind of what killed the Dreamcast because the Dreamcast
It
came out in I
was.
think '99, but the PlayStation 2 was like right on the horizon there.
Right, yeah, and then PlayStation 2 had a Blu-ray player in it, which is
Oh
like,
no, not a
what?
Blu-ray player. That was PS3, but it was a DVD player, and I think at the
No, I
time
swear it had a. I swear didn't the
Blu-ray.
PS2 have a
No,
Blu-ray
that was
player?
the PS3. The PS2 only had DVD, but at the time, DVD was still a
Oh yeah,
fairly new technology, kind
and
of
it was
old.
expensive, and you could
Yeah, I
buy
think the
PlayStation.
PlayStation, either it was the PS1 or the PS2. One of them were the cheapest DVD player you could get, or maybe it was actually the PS3 that I'm thinking of. That was the cheapest Blu-ray player that you could have got.
I think the PS2 was the cheapest DVD player, and the PS3 was the cheapest Blu-ray player. But
I
nonetheless,
mean, saying that's not cheap because at launch the PS3 was still like $500.
right? But Blu-ray players were fairly expensive at the time.
Oh yeah, definitely no, because that technology was still really new. Um,
Yeah.
Going back to the console thing, would you choose PC or console? Microsoft seems to be
Like,
kind of blurring the line between those two, between Xbox and Windows
like
10.
now, or at a different time.
No, just in general. Would you rather have, if you can only choose one, would you rather choose consoles or PC?
PC.
Really? Why?
Yep. PC is the neutral. If you release a game on console, 99% of the time you release it on PC, and you can mod it, get the best DLC, and have the best graphics. It's also easier to aim with a mouse. There's also
Oh
more
yeah,
hotkey options.
way easier name with the mouse for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
You have
wow.
more flexibility with the controls as well. You can change the
I
controls
I
to
I would have chosen consoles
really.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's just something I grew up with. I mean, there's a lot
See,
of stuff about consoles that you can't really replicate with computers. Like
that's
especially like in
true.
terms of like multiplayer, like you can't just play with one of your friends or your siblings on the computer. Like think of how different it would have been in like your childhood if you chose the PC.
Yeah, it'd have been a lot different. You see, when I
Because
grew
I
up,
have like a lot of
I
memories
did
playing
both.
like the original Xbox with like my brother, or we had a PS2 as well. We all played that, and it kind of like, shaped our childhood in a way.
Yeah.
And so I
See,
think not for
I didn't
keep going.
I didn't have any siblings when I was growing up, so I didn't play games with anybody. I just played games by myself. It sounds so sad. It was not sad. I just, played single player games by myself on
S-
either the console or the PC. So,
Stories of a single child.
yeah. So, until I was like 7 or 8, then I had a stepsister, but she was like graduating high school when I was like a few years ago. No, not a few years ago, like 5 years ago, I think she graduated high school. Maybe
Oh,
6 years ago. I don't know.
wow.
So, yeah,
Yeah, wow, no. Uh, I would have chosen console. All right.
yeah, I'd have chosen PC. There's that.
Next topic.
Oh, how do you feel about controversial games being allowed on Steam, or actually just ports in general?
Okay, so by controversial, what game are you talking about specifically?
Not any game specifically, but
Because I
I'll
feel
give
like
one.
I don't follow how many stuff is being banned on Steam, how many games are being banned by them. Um, but controversial. Uh, clear that up.
Okay, well, here's a little story, not a story per se, but here's a little backstory to this question. Steam recently, I think like 2, 3 weeks ago, maybe even last week, I don't remember. Steam released a statement saying that they were working on their what they allowed on Steam, and they changed it so that if you had a game and you put it on Steam, they would let it, no matter what it was, even if it was like the worst possible thing, they would let it they would let it stay on Steam as long as it wasn't trolling, I believe was the only requirement. Or to create conflict from it existing, right? Like if its only
I mean,
purpose
but
is to create
a lot of
conflict,
controversial stuff is uh
is what?
what did you just say? It was like something about arguing or something.
Okay, so if the game's only purpose is to create conflict through its
Okay, yeah, conflict.
existence,
A lot of controversial stuff creates conflict between different people.
yeah,
So,
right. No, no, no. If its only purpose is to create conflict, if it's not really meant to entertain you or to
oh,
be
so
a
if
game,
it's like a game that has this certain choice that some people kind of feel like, oh, hey, that's kind of, that's a little bit iffy. That's fine.
they'll
But like
still
if
let
it's
it
a
there.
game that's saying, it's clearly creating the conflict, and that's its only purpose. That's what's being banned.
Yeah, but if it's actually meant to entertain, like, okay, so the game Hatred, I think you played it once, is basically a game where you just go around and you just shoot innocent people. It's the entire first level is you just go around and shoot innocent people. That's the whole entire point of the game. But
Jesus.
yeah, is you just shoot innocent people with
Okay.
an AK and you're suicidal, and I think at the end you kill yourself or something, right?
Let's not
It's
forget
like
Modern
post.
Warfare 2 had an airport shooting.
Right, yeah. And they created so much conflict, and Hatred is actually taken off of Steam. And it got an AO rating. It got an adult only rating because of how violent it is. That's one of 3 games to do that. And
Wow.
Hatred, they put it back on Steam because they said it's a game and it's meant to be fun. It's meant to entertain. It's not just to create conflict. Sure, it created conflict, but that's not its only purpose. And so they let it back on Steam.
So regarding Steam's new rule, I think I think that's smart.
I
Just
think that's a good
taking
choice.
the stuff that taking down the stuff that only has a purpose of creating arguments between people. That seems like it's reasonable. I mean, it's their
Yeah,
platform. Really, they can do whatever they want with it.
I think so too. I think I also like, not that I like the conflict that games create, but I like the freedom of creating whatever game you want and there's no restrictions on that. I
Yeah,
don't care if it's controversial. I think you should be allowed to create whatever you want. And as long as you're not trying to create conflict, as long as conflict is a side effect, I think you should be allowed to freely create whatever you want. I think that's your freedom
yeah. No,
on the
as
internet.
a yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Being able to
And
have
so
no restrictions would, yeah, I could see how that could, make
yeah,
game developers a little more happy or something or whatever.
happier or something. Yeah, that's fine.
Um, no, I think that rule makes sense though, and I
Yeah,
wouldn't argue about it.
yeah. And how do you feel about recently? There was just recently a game. I think I mentioned it to you. Active shooter slash standoff. It's like a SWAT simulator where it revolves around a school shooting, and it was recently taken off Steam. How do you feel about that? Do you think it?
Oh, we were so close to downloading that game.
We were close because it was multiplayer, and it's
Yeah.
not, it's not shown on
Okay,
Steam.
so
Like,
if you don't know, we were like before we do these recordings, we kind of go through kind of like the suggestions of what game we should play. Like we just kind of talk to each other, like, oh, what game can we play? This or that. And sometimes we'll just scroll through Steam, and he found that
yeah,
game,
that's generally how we do
and
things.
it's like the game was listed or in its description it said that it was a SWAT simulator. Um, but the pictures were taken, like the pictures were of the SWAT team instead of a school, and they have to stop the shooter. So it's kind of like a school shooter, and that was taken down. Was it really?
It was taken off of Steam,
It
which
was.
I
It was really taken off. I think. I mean, that kind of goes against what Steam's just saying,
yeah, which I don't
because
I don't
that's
know.
not that. Its purpose isn't to create these arguments, these conflicts. Like, sure, it's a sore subject, especially in the United States,
Yeah,
but I like.
especially because
I mean,
there was just a
it's
school
going
shooting.
against the rules. They just said it. I mean, really,
Yeah,
it's a SWAT simulator, and we don't. I mean, we didn't play the game, so it could have had different levels too. It could have been not just in the school. It could have been in different
and
things.
it's in alpha right now. It's still under development.
Yeah,
So
so that's actually that. I mean, that goes exactly
yeah.
against what Steam was just saying about having
Now,
lifting basically all restrictions on what can and cannot be released on Steam
yeah, as long as it's not a troll, I guess. But
or Valve, what they said.
oh, yeah. So maybe Steam had other reasons. I will look more into it, and we might touch
Yeah,
up on this in the next podcast. But
yeah. We're
I
gonna find
don't
more
agree that
about.
Steam took it off. I agree that it's sure it's a, a controversial game, and it's kind of iffy the subject. But I think it should be allowed on Steam. I'll look more into that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I can't. It's kind of weird because that was only like a couple days ago we were looking at that game.
That was yesterday. That was just yesterday.
No, I don't think it was yesterday. It might have been the day
Was
before.
it yesterday? It
No,
might have.
it
It might
might
have
have
been.
been the day before.
Yeah, but it was real
Yeah.
real not long ago. Real not long ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was
Yeah.
can't I,
I'm kind of
that
surprised they took it off.
that goes exactly against what Valve was saying.
And see, you can still buy a Steam key from that game developer's website. Like the game is still available on Steam, right? But you can have the title, but you just can't download it off of Steam. You just own the grayed out title, and you're not allowed to play it. So that's
And the game is
there.
paid for.
Yep, you have to pay for the Steam key for the game, right? But the game is you're just not allowed to play it or download it.
So
It's
so
just a
Valve
title.
banned the game, so people that paid money for that game can't even play it now. So
Yep. Yeah,
either
there you go.
they let people play the game or they have to start doing refunds.
Yeah, I wish they would do a refund, but I don't think they will. I at least think that if you bought the game originally, you should at least be able to play it or at least download it off of Steam and just have it as a third party game at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know. All right,
Life
that's
on Mars or the moon?
oh yeah, life on Mars or the moon. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if it's just a question, would I rather live on Mars or on the moon?
Oh,
Um,
that's like an or.
Again, that's kind of hard. That's like the choosing the history thing because, I mean, we've already had people on the moon, but we haven't had people on Mars. But that's saying that life is going to be ready on Mars.
What kind of ready? Is it gonna be like in like a bubble, or
Like
is it gonna be like
whatever
underground?
NASA and SpaceX is planning to do to make life possible on Mars, so that humans can live on the planet.
Would it be like Earth, where you just have this atmosphere that covers the planet and you don't really have to worry about it, or be
I think
like a
that's something
bubble?
they were trying to do, was planning on making like a new
Yeah.
atmosphere. I mean, sure
So
that'll take an incredibly long time for them to
is
do.
that is that what we're gonna use for the question? Is that how the life is gonna be
Saying that
posed?
Mars or the moon is readily available for life on it,
Like with an atmosphere?
I would. Yeah, no, like just life is like you can live on either of them and it'll be fine.
Okay.
I would live on Mars
I would live on the moon, so that way there I could just go back to Earth whenever I really want to.
because yes, like that makes, like on the moon what you just said, that makes sense. You can kind of go back to the Earth really quickly and whatnot.
Yeah.
But on Mars, I mean, it's not like it's easy to answer, but like I would want to live on Mars because think of this, like you would be able to see the Earth rise and set.
I think it's too far away, isn't it?
No, it's not. There's
Oh.
a video of it on Mars,
Oh.
or,
Well,
or not a
if there
video
was
of
an,
it on Mars.
but if there was an atmosphere on Mars, you wouldn't be able to see it because of the atmosphere.
I mean, maybe.
Same thing goes for the moon, I guess.
I would live on Mars. Also, it's just a much bigger planet, and there's the possibility of water. But if we just had to
Oh,
choose
there you go.
between Mars and Moon, or Mars or the Moon, I would choose Mars.
I would probably choose the moon. Although I see where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Here we go.
You got
Oh, how
one?
do you feel about the new Google console that it's super early in development right now, but
What do you? There's a new Google console.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
talk about Google releasing a console.
Elaborate on that.
So there's talk about Google, like the internet giant,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Releasing like a game console that there's no discs or anything. It's streaming only, where you just stream the game.
So it'd be similar to like the Steam Link.
Or the Ouya.
The Ouya was a horrible console.
The Ouya. You see, I want to try it, but I don't want to. I
It's
don't want
it's a
to waste
waste of
money on it.
money. It was a
It's
horrible
like
console.
$70, right?
Not it's not even worth 20.
How much? Did you play it?
No, but it's trash. There was nothing on it. No one made games
Yeah,
for it. There was no support. Apparently the build quality was terrible, and the CEO of that company had no idea what video games were.
really. Wow.
It does not
Wow.
have a very good reputation at all, and I don't blame. I don't blame. I'm not gonna stand by it. It was a horrible little cash grab, and it didn't want. It did not work.
Yeah, I wish they.
And
I
then
think it had
Ouya got
some.
bought when you know in their final hour. Razer bought Ouya.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Razer bought
What do they
them.
do with it?
I don't know. Nothing so far.
Did they do anything? Did they try to
I
improve
don't
it?
really know.
It's disappointing.
When
Yeah,
Razer
no.
bought
So I think.
Nextbit, and then they made a Razer phone.
Oh yeah, that Razer phone is said to be really good. I wanted it, but they don't take my service. Yeah, but how do you feel about the Google console? Because that's kind of what it's reminding me of. Is
I
the
mean,
Ouya?
I don't really have any thoughts about it. I would, I just, because like you can't give your, like you can't just judge a console and it's not out. You don't know how its support's gonna be. You don't know
The
how it's even
streaming
going
only
to
though.
be. I mean, you don't know how good the streaming is gonna work because the PS4 has this, type of thing where you would its version of backwards compatibility is you just stream PS3 games offline.
Yeah, yeah,
Like if it's just that, I think it wouldn't be completely worth it because that some games just don't work that well when you stream them.
yeah. Which is
Over
a
the
problem,
internet.
especially if you don't have good
Because
internet.
it's not it's you're not just playing the game itself. Like you have to stream it offline, so it's kind of gonna be a second behind in some games. Like I would imagine games like shooters or racing games wouldn't be working that well at all.
Exactly.
And then
Especially if you don't have good internet.
that might limit to just indie consoles. But at that point, who wants a console that's only indie console? With only indie games on it.
Yeah, nobody wants that,
I mean, I wouldn't
But
want that. I'm sure there would be a market for it, but I'm not
there
part of that
would be.
market.
I'm sure there's a market already, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
I don't
that
know. I
would.
think
I think they've tried to make something like that before. The Nexus Q, I think it was called.
the Ouya, the Nexus Q. Who is it made by?
Google.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know.
They could have been like a TV streaming service. I'm not really sure.
Maybe. You see, I think I would buy the Google console as long as it had AAA games and support.
I mean, that's the thing though. If it's just streaming, then how would that? I mean, how well would that really work?
I would try it because it's unique and it's Google, and that worked out last time somebody did that. You remember back when the hardware giant Microsoft was rumors of releasing a console called the Xbox. So it
Yeah,
worked
but
out well the last time.
I
Might work
mean,
out well again.
yeah, but the Xbox isn't streaming only. It's discs. It's actual
But
physical games,
it
or
was a
games that
unique
you can
idea.
download, or games that you can download onto a hard drive. Well, I mean that you couldn't download games till the 360 came around, but
No, you could, because
no,
I have
you couldn't download games on the original Xbox. But
because you, yeah,
um, if it's just streaming, I don't think it would work out that well, especially for bigger games. Uh, it's just streaming them all on the internet and whatnot. That wouldn't work out too well because there'd be some kind of latency,
there
problem.
would be, guaranteed. I would get
So,
it because I would want to try it. It's a unique console made by Google, who is new to the console industry at least. I would try it. I would at least go to GameStop
I,
and play that free version.
I don't think I would. Uh,
No.
I don't think that would be something I would be interested in as a console. I mean, I love Google and all. I live in their ecosystem. Um, but in terms of a streaming only console, that's just not something I would be interested spending my money on.
I would try it before I bought it. And I think I would want it because at least solely because it's unique, like the Dreamcast.
You want it because of its, reputation of being super unique.
Yep. Yeah, I
Okay,
love
that
unique
that
things.
I can understand that. Sure.
Yeah. If it's unique, then I want. Yeah.
Oh, something something that blew my mind that really shouldn't have
What?
is that we're
What happened?
closer to 2030 than we are to 2005.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. I'm pretty sad about that.
I
I
mean,
remember 2005.
that blows my mind. That just seems like 2030 is so far away. I still
Yeah.
feel like 2005 wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't really. I mean, it was only like 10,
It's 12
11,
years
12,
ago, but
13.
no, 2005 was 13 years ago, and 2030 is only 12 years away.
Yeah, that's sad.
I mean, that blows my mind for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of sad because I remember 2005. I was just a wee lad
I
back
was
then. I was
just a
just a
wee
child.
little child back in those days. A quick question:
Okay.
what is your favorite soda?
Mountain Dew.
Same. Yeah, it's easy. Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
What's your favorite
What's
Mountain
your?
Dew?
I would probably say Black Label. Unless you meant like home drinks. Cause
Just
do
your
you mean like
favorite,
ones that you can
like your favorite Mountain Dew, whatever one you can buy.
Black Label? I love Black Label. I'm glad they released that. I haven't been able to find it in a while, but I think they still have it out. So my
Yeah, no,
favorites.
that's pretty easy for me too. It's Baja Blast.
Yeah, Baja Blast is amazing. It's great,
Yeah.
but it's limited edition to
But
Taco
the
Bell,
thing is
except in
though,
the summer.
yeah, because they only sell it in the summer. But every time I drink it, I just can't. I don't know if it's just me, but every time because it's a Taco Bell only type of thing for most of the year. Every time I drink it, I can't not think of Taco Bell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And again, it's unique. It's unique.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I guess that technically wasn't the last one. Last question is Pepsi or Coke?
Well, do you mean the soda itself, or like the line of sodas that each company
I mean,
produces?
like the Coca-Cola company or PepsiCo? Pepsi, PepsiCo.
Well, Pepsi because they have Gatorade and Mountain Dew, right? But if it was between Pepsi or Coke, I think Coke. Well, it depends on what mood I'm in, actually. You
I
know?
mean, to me, those like, yeah, sure, they're all right, but to me, they kind of taste similar. They're just kind of bland to me, like just
Not to
because
me.
they're just like general colas.
Yeah. Yep. I know what you mean. They taste different to me. Not until recently though. I wasn't able to tell the difference until recently.
But I think between
Yeah.
the two, I would choose Pepsi.
I like Pepsi because they have Mountain Dew and Gatorade, like I said, and
Cherry Pepsi is also pretty good too.
I haven't
Yeah,
tried cherry
yeah,
Pepsi.
cherry Pepsi is great.
Yeah. Not tried it. Is it
Right.
taste like cherry Coke? I would assume.
It better, better
Better.
better
Better than
than.
cherry Coke.
Yeah. Oh,
Cherry Pepsi is
so
better than
easily.
cherry Coke.
Um, is it Pepsi or Coca-Cola that owns Dr. Pepper?
Oh, see, that's super unique. It's different for each state.
What do you mean?
In each state, it's held under a different name.
Is it? Are you
Yeah,
sure? 'Cause that seems
I'm
like it would be
100% sure.
something that would be more of like a brand thing. Actually, I'm looking
So,
that up right now. Who
like, if
owns
a restaurant serves
Dr.
Pepsi,
Pepper?
then that means they serve all Pepsi products, right? And they don't serve any Coke products. But in different states, it's Pepsi that serves Dr. Pepper at restaurants and Coke that serves Dr. Pepper at restaurants.
Well, no,
So,
you are right. Currently, the majority of Pepsi and Coke bottlers bottling Dr. Pepper are owned by PepsiCo and the Coca-Cola Company. After their buyouts of their major bottlers, presently Dr. Pepper Snapple relies on its own bottling group to bottle and distribute its products in more than 30 states.
yep. Yeah, it's different for each state, so it's pretty weird. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that though. I'm, you know, Dr. Pepper is kind of neutral. Does its own thing.
I mean,
It's unique.
it's also a really good soda too.
It's a good soda.
Especially the cherry.
Used to be my
The cherry.
favorite.
Is
Huh?
there is the cherry Dr Pepper? That stuff is good too.
I haven't tried it. I have not
Yeah, they
tried it.
have it at the convenience store down the road.
Really?
Yeah, you should go get it next time you are or you walk down that way.
I might get it today. I don't know. Who knows?
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so those were the topics we had for today. So if you liked
Yes.
it, let me know by leaving a like and comment. Don't hit my microphone.
Cut that out.
Take two.
Take
Gotta
two.
warm up. Gotta warm up. All right, so those are the topics we had for today's discount podcast. So if you like them, let us know in the comments below. If you have any answers that kind of differed for ours, or you want to elaborate more on what we were saying, go ahead and let us know also in the comments below. Yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.